Well, good afternoon and welcome to this webinar on Liquid Web, talking about WHMCS and how to easily manage your clients' products. My name is Nathan Ingram. I'm a web educator and business coach, and I'm joined today by Chris White, who is the Partner Operations Manager for Liquid Web, specializing in WHMCS onboarding. And this is part 2 of a series on WHMCS that we've been doing here. And today, Chris is going to be talking all about how we can manage client products using this very powerful tool of WHMCS. So, Chris, welcome. It's good to have you today. Let's talk a little bit about what WHMCS actually is as we get started.
Thank you. Absolutely. So as many of you might know, WHMCS is Web Host Manager's complete solution. It was built as a client management platform that allows you to connect within WHM for automated provisioning of cPanel, connect to different modules for payment gateways and domain registrars. And it really is an all-in-one tool that helps with reselling hosting and pretty much doing anything within the web space.
That's pretty cool. So WHM is that piece of the server management puzzle that sits on top of multiple cPanel accounts. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So Web Host Manager is kind of the parent level cPanel. It's basically allowing you to create multiple cPanel accounts underneath it that your clients still have control over what is their domain, maybe email aliases and different things of that nature, while you still maintain overall control of the server and kind of the Apache and PHP and some of the higher level, more server technical side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And then WHMCS fits into the puzzle as really bringing some automation to being able to manage multiple clients in the WHM world. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's actually expanded beyond that. It's a CRM, it's a CMS. It's really a tool that does that connection. It does have that API connection to allow for automated cPanel provisioning. It has that connection for the PayPal and different payment gateways and things to automate the billing, but it is a CMS as well. You can actually feature products through a cart that is built into WHMCS. So it gives you a storefront, it gives you a client backend. It really is an all-in-one tool.
That is very cool. And WHMCS is offered free for all Liquid Web partners. That's a really good tool that Liquid Web is bringing to everyone in the partner program. So today, Chris, what are we going to be covering as we look at this portion of WHMCS specifically pertaining to products?
Yeah, so the way that you can manage your products through WHMCS is really diverse. You have a lot of different features and things that not only give you control, but give your clients some control and allows for that interaction to be very smooth and painless for your clients. So one of the things we'll talk about today is designing that product display, how to kind of set up that shop that we had talked about, that cart. We'll also talk about kind of connecting those APIs and doing some of that automated provisioning, as well as what management that gives to your clients directly because of that automation and that connection, as well as showing you some unique ways to do upgrade paths between different products. And different ways that you can kind of incentivize your clients to do things that may be upsells or maybe bundling products and allowing for your clients to easily navigate between the products that are available.
Absolutely. And this, by the way, if you're watching this on the replay, this is only a portion of what WHMCS can do. It does a lot of different things. And we did an overview webinar. This is part 2, going in a little deeper on the product side. But if you want a broader overview of WHMCS, you can find that previous webinar that's a lot broader view there in the partner portal. But for today and now, let's just start talking about products.
Absolutely. So what products are available for automated provisioning? The shared cPanel hosting has a built-in API. That's something that WHMCS has done from the start. Liquid Web has also gone through. We've worked with developers to create an API plugin that allows for you to extend that same automation, those same features to our cloud platform. So that's our cloud VPS, our cloud dedicated, and products like that. So I did kind of a quick highlight here of what the groups kind of would be for that automation. You'll see the group name here for the cPanel. You have your VPS products. You have fully dedicated servers. All of these are set up in a group so that you can organize them appropriately based on what plugin you're using, based on what you want these displayed for your clients, and you can set them up that way. WHM offers a package ability to create a package, so you can actually go in and add a package, and you set your own kind of resources from there. And WHMCS will tie back into your WHM server that you have set up to easily do the kind of easy mode setup. Within the module settings, any server that you have connected there, it'll pull those WHM package names to ensure that they're getting the appropriate resources for disk space and emails and all the things that you can configure within cPanel. So that makes that process really simple. We do have an in-depth knowledge base article on how to set those up, both from the WHM package as well as connecting them in with the actual WHMCS product. This is your standard details page. This is what you're going to see to kind of create your own product description. As you see, you can use HTML in this field, so you can really kind of dress this up however you want. This is what is going to display to the client as the product description of the product that you're offering. We've talked about this before, but one of the things that we hadn't actually touched on is this featured box here. So there are certain order forms, and I'll show you one here in just a minute, that allow you to feature specific products. So if you have things that are, for my example, I have the standard package. I have a webmaster package and a professional package. The webmaster package kind of gives you additional resources, and it's kind of my middle ground. It's where I wanted a lot of my client base to land. So I made that a feature package, and you'll see what that looks like. This is our setup wizard. We actually created this for a similar easy mode for any of our cloud products. You'll see that you still have the product name, the group that you want it associated with, as well as the description. But down in the module settings is where you really get into the details of what the product is going to be. So you can do any number of different VPS options that we have, different OS templates if you want to sell just CentOS 7 with cPanel, if you want to offer other flavors of Linux, if you want to offer Windows. You can do all of that through here, and setting that up is simple and easy with this tool. Now, this is the backend module settings of the plugin. You'll see there are a lot of different things here that are open, things that are left out. Essentially with this area, if you're not 100% on what these different options are, I would suggest sticking with the setup wizard. It makes all of this simple and makes sure that at the end of the day, the product you want provisioned when Bronze VPS is ordered is the correct product, both on the back end as well as what WHMCS is delivering to your clients.
So as we look at, you mentioned the idea of packages. Unpack that for us a little bit. When you talk about packages and being able to set those up for clients to purchase, what are we talking about?
So packages in WHM and what they kind of translate to within WHMCS is the resources available to the client via that cPanel. So within cPanel, you can set things like disk space and bandwidth. If you want to allow for add-on domains, if you want to allow for park domains, you can actually configure all of those things on a cPanel level for the client. Now, instead of going through and every single client you set up, okay, I want them to have X amount of disk space or Y amount of bandwidth, you can set up packages that will automate all of those resources allocations to each client. So when they purchase a standard plan, it's across the board the same as every other standard plan that's purchased, and so on from there. So the package is really just kind of determining what resources are being given, and then the package in WHMCS is communicating back with the server so that when the client orders the standard package, that provisions that standard package in WHM so that the resources match.
Gotcha. So maybe we could go back to that slide. I think it's number 6, where all those products and services were listed. And we've got some examples of packages there, like the standard package. That might include, well, there it shows a hosting account, but you could also put into that, like you said, a domain registration and so forth. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually something in this here, it's not actually a screenshot there, but this option right here is actually so common for one of the incentives to be giving a free domain that WHMCS actually built in this tab here that let's say for the standard and the webmaster plan, kind of your intro level shared plans, you don't want to offer any of that incentive. But if they go with a professional plan, you'll give them a free domain. You can actually do that using this. But as far as the packages go, going back here, the difference really is the resource allocations. And I have a slide later that kind of highlights those. But the standard package, let's say that starts with 5 gigs. Then the webmaster plan will give that 15 gigs. And then the professional package will give that 40 gigs. So the disk space allocation alone, you can see the difference between going from one package to the next to the third, kind of up that ladder in terms of tiering of packages. And then the same could be said for bandwidth. Now, another incentive, of course, is, let's say the standard package, as my example will show, the standard package does not allow for any park domains or add-on domains. So you're stuck with, domain.com. That's what you have. If you upgrade to the webmaster plan, we'll allow you to keep domain.com, but we will also allow you to park domain2.com on domain.com. So it will call back. Then when you get to the professional level, it actually unlocks the ability to do add-on domains. So you can have a completely unique domain with a completely unique page and everything all through a single cPanel.
Got it. So basically what this lets you do is set up all the server resources in bundles. I know we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but then put a single price on it, and that's what's presented to your customer.
Absolutely.
So how do clients make payments? Is WHMCS processing payments?
Yes. So WHMCS doesn't process payments itself, but it works right alongside different modules for payment gateways. So there's a lot of payment gateways out there. PayPal and Authorize.net are two very common. They're actually featured payment gateways within WHMCS. Another very common one is Stripe. Those different payment gateways have modules that are built into WHMCS. You can go in and you can set up those payment gateways. There's lots of different articles. WHMCS has some great documentation out there to kind of show you how to get that stuff set up, get those APIs connected. And what'll happen here, and it's actually within the module settings here, we'll show you this page here. You can actually select here from 4 different options. Within this, basically, the client will come to your site. They'll purchase, we'll say, the standard shared cPanel package. When they purchase that package, they will be prompted to make a payment. Whatever payment gateways you want to offer for that package, which that can also be granular. If you want different payment gateways available for different packages, you can do that. But what you do then is you can select, okay, once they've made that payment, I want to go ahead and set up the product and get it delivered to them. Or as I have selected here, option 3, it will accept the payment, and then it will notify you that an order has been placed and the payment has been made. You do a manual kind of review and you accept the pending order, and that's when the automation happens. So you have control over when the payment is taken and then when the product is then delivered.
Got it. That makes perfect sense. And recurring payments work the same way. If it's like an annual plan or a monthly plan, you can set that up through the payment gateway.
Yeah, so it depends on the payment gateway. PayPal does it through subscriptions. Authorize does an attempt capture based on the initial kind of capture and what the plan is set up for that. So different modules will have different module settings. I would say to, number one, activate it within WHMCS and see if there's an easy selection for what you want to do there. And then, of course, from there, contact your payment gateway if you're using another payment gateway that's not the standard. They'll be able to kind of describe to you how to do either subscriptions or recurring. PayPal, for example, you can actually force a subscription or force a one-time payment if you want it, so that when clients use PayPal, they have to set up a subscription. You can do that, but that is specific to their payment gateway module.
Got it. Makes a lot of sense. So WHMCS is really making this easy to sell these sorts of products to my clients. And folks, those of you who are in the audience, if you have questions, just use the questions panel there in the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll get those over to Chris as you ask them. So once I have all these products set up, WHMCS is going to help me bundle products and encourage clients to purchase particular products maybe, or does it even handle upgrade paths?
It does, absolutely. So WHMCS is a lot of control over how the products are displayed to your clients and how your clients interact with those products. So one of the things, and this is where we can kind of see the difference between the different packages, is you can actually feature products in your cart. We talked about selecting that button. If you're using an order form that allows that, it will kind of highlight that product on the page. You can also set different payment options so that they may have an incentive to go with an annual contract as opposed to going month to month. The upgrade paths can be set up through the module, and you can even bundle, as you said. So jumping right into that, the featured package, what this looks like, this comparison, this is the hosting comparison order form. You'll see that we have 3 packages here, just like you saw in my back end. You have the standard, the webmaster, and the professional. The webmaster is featured, so it pops up on the page. It has the most popular tag, and these things can be modified as well. And then you'll see down here is the resources. This is kind of the difference between the packages. So you go from kind of the 10 to the 20 to the 40 gig options. But in addition, you'll see the park domains as well as the add-on domains. So you have all of that available directly visible to the client as how you want to display it. Now, if you want to show less, you can show less. If you want to show more, you can show more. All of this is done through the details portion of the product setup. So we talked about doing some incentives for longer term contracts. You'll see here, as I actually noted at the bottom here, all of the packages are eligible for month-to-month contracts, but be sure to check the offers for registering for long-term. And you'll actually see here that the monthly is $15, semi-annual is $90. But if you go with the annual plan, you can get it for $150, knock 2 months off of the price. This is just an example. We have no guidelines or anything in terms of how you have to do this. Whatever works best for your client base. If you find that you don't want people signing up annually, only give them a one-time monthly option. If you want everybody to be on, a certain payment structure, you can do that. You can kind of manage not only the client, but as the product as well as to what can be set up. So we also talked about upgrade paths. What's really cool about the upgrade paths within WHMCS is that they're all connected via the API. So your webmaster package and your professional package exist via the API the same way as the standard plan. So from here, the client can actually log into their backend portal. They can say, I'm on the standard plan right now and I'm running out of space. I would like to go up to the webmaster plan. They submit an upgrade. The cron job will run in the background. WHMCS will notify WHM. WHMCS collects the payment on what the upgrade cost would be to go to the next package. And WHM in turn then gives them the additional resources by updating the cPanel package from standard to webmaster. Same goes for the VPS. This is actually all done through the plugin. So it's a little bit different because it's not using WHM to change resources. It's actually sending an API call to our backend that says, host.vps1.com needs to go from the bronze plan to the silver plan, which translates in this example from the 2 gig to the 4 gig. And it'll actually automate that whole process. So that'll send it through and bill the client and everything else. So it's very hands-off, it's very automated, and allows the client to have that control.
Yeah, so not only can you change the level of hosting within a single server, like when you're taking a VPS and breaking it up into shared hosting, you can actually move a client from one VPS to another.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the way that works, so moving from one VPS to another is actually through a tool we call Resize. So the idea isn't proprietary, but the way Liquid Web does it is proprietary to our backend hypervisor that works with our cloud platform. As simple as I can put it, it takes everything that's on your 2 gig VPS and moves it identically to whatever package you want. So the 4 gig or the 8 gig. So your IPs stay the same. All of your data stays the same. So it's not a migration in the sense that you're used to for moving from server to server. It's really just allocating those additional resources and making it live. The process, depending on how much data you're moving or that it's resizing, can span anywhere from 15, 20 minutes to maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, and upwards of there in some special circumstances with data. But for the most part, it's a very fast, very seamless process, and there's no DNS changes that need to happen. It's really smooth. So the only time, and talking about migrations, the only time that you would actually want to employ a migration is, let's say you have a client who's on the shared hosting path. Maybe they go from standard to webmaster to professional. They say, you know what, I want to take that next step. I want a dedicated environment. Let me go to your bronze VPS. You can actually do that. It isn't automated through WHMCS, but if they purchase the bronze plan through WHMCS, you can work with us on the back end, and we will migrate them from the cPanel account on your server to the VPS that will essentially be their server, but on your account. All of it would still be white labeled, all of it still going through your company, and they would still have all of the same control and access to the VPS as they would have ordering it directly through WHMCS. So it really kind of is a win-win all around.
That is very cool. And so for me as a business owner and for my clients, it's really transparent. They just make the change by purchasing an upgrade within their own portal, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But and then it just happens on the back end, either in an automated fashion or you guys getting involved in performing the kind of migration you just talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other things that we kind of covered in terms of, or that we had touched on, is bundling products. So this isn't anything that we've covered in previous webinars or in any material before, but bundling products is a really powerful feature that WHMCS offers out of the box. Basically, you name it as though it's a product. So the bundled product becomes its own product. You can set, valid dates if you want this to be a promotional bundle. If you want to, offer it to the first 10 users, you can do it that way. Or if you just want this to be the standard bundle, you want everyone to choose the bundle because it makes the most sense. You can set it up that way. Any product that exists in your WHMCS, you can actually bundle. So it doesn't have to be within the same group. It doesn't have to be the same in any way other than they both exist as products within WHMCS. You can then bundle them. And as you'll see, what we did here is did a manual price override. You can actually do different things. So you can offer percentages off. You can offer different kind of promotional bonuses. And you can do different things. In this example, what I did is I said, if you purchase our $500 website maintenance package, we will give you the silver VPS at 50% off. So instead of the $100 VPS, or I think it's $99 on the page, you get that for $50. So then in the product description, you'll see here, we kind of noted that bundling the maintenance package with the silver plan saves you 50% on the server. So this is all something you set up on the back end. And if you show it in the product group, which is this selection right here, this is how it'll display on the website. So you have your silver VPS sitting right there, $100 a month, gives you the 4 gigs of RAM, 100 gigs of disk space, and you're going to need that, maintenance plan as well. So you have something right next to it. Hosting is better with support. Check out our bundle deal. If you bundle the maintenance package with the silver plan, it'll save you 50% on the server. Now, in this one, I didn't display the price right out on the bundle. You can do that. But of course, if you put it this way, they have to hit order now, and then they'll see the price in the cart. Kind of another trigger to kind of get them further down the path.
That is pretty amazing. So, one of the great things about WHMCS is that, you can set your products up, you can bundle them, you can price them. Clients can purchase, they can upgrade, they can downgrade if they want. But WHMCS also gives clients the ability to really easily see and manage all the products and services they have with you in a really nice client portal. So let's talk about that just for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So all the things that we talked about, the upgrades, bundling, all of those things, they're convenient, but they're really more of what you can do. WHMCS actually gives a very robust client portal. Not only can they view all the products, they can manage their invoices, they can manage support tickets. We actually covered, if you are interested in the support platform, which I know a lot of you are, our previous webinar, we did do a lot of coverage on the support aspect. That's in part 1. But the client portal is very robust. You can do so many things with it. As far as the products go, though, this is the overall page that you'll see. It'll show your active services. It'll show any pending services. If you have services that are waiting for activation, you'll see where those are at. You can kind of see what stage things are at. If you have an account that is suspended, or if you have an account that's terminated or canceled, all of this is managed through this client portal, and they can view all of those resources. So at any given point, they'll know what active products they have, what pending products they're waiting on, and they can see that from here. Now, drilling down a little bit further, we'll look at what the upgrade paths look like. Within the cPanel, if you're looking at the cPanel, you actually can select upgrade, downgrade, and it'll take you to this page. This page allows you to select which package you want to go to. So you'll see here we have the Webmaster package. That's the middle of the road. That was the highlighted one. You can actually downgrade to the standard plan if you're thinking you don't need as many resources as you have, or you're just kind of underutilizing what was there. You can go backwards, and you can also increase and go from the Webmaster to the professional package. And then once you hit choose product, that sends a signal to the cron job for WHM. This will immediately charge them when you go through here. If they have a payment on file, or if they have a payment method on file that can auto capture, so like authorized card, it will attempt that capture right away. If it's PayPal, it'll send them to PayPal as though it's a new order, and then it'll communicate with the API to automatically change the package that we had talked about before in WHM to reflect what they have adjusted to. So this actually looks the same for the VPS options. You'll see here these have the different plans for silver, gold, platinum, currently on the bronze configuration. So you just select which one you want, you choose the product, it bills you, and then from there, this one will actually send an immediate API call, which starts the resize process. So at any point, you have this available to you, but also on the back end, let's say, you have a client come to you and says, I need more resources and I'm not sure how to do that. You can direct them to this page, or you can also do the modification on the back end yourself. You can actually manually upgrade clients, which will send the API calls. It'll still do all the same. So this gives them the ability to do their own kind of self-management, but it doesn't preclude them to be limited to that. You can go and be as involved as you'd like as well.
Excellent. So we just had a question come in that's asking for a little more detail on the process of adding a product for pre-existing VPS packages. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So if I'm understanding the question correctly, so pre-existing, you're referring to the public cloud VPS that Liquid Web offers, like the 2 gig, 4 gig options. The way that those actually connect is directly through the API. And we do have a slide covering it here. It's a ways back now. Through this setup wizard, when you go through here and you actually connect these, before you get to this page, you actually have to connect an API, which we have lots of knowledge base articles. We have a lot of guides on how to do that. Once the API is connected, it will pull this data. And the one thing that's not included for, this exactly is an exact pricing of what it's going to be. So this is where communicating with your partner development manager is going to be crucial to make sure that, the 4 gig VPS, if you want to offer quota backups, those come with an additional cost. The OS template, cPanel, has a $10 management cost. So this is where you definitely want to communicate with your partner development manager to determine what that pricing is going to be. But this is how you would set up any of the public cloud VPSs. The other side of that, if pre-existing, you mean it's a VPS that already exists, if you're trying to associate that with a client on the back end, WHMCS requires for that product to associate with what Liquid Web calls a unique ID. You can get that unique ID directly from Manage, and as long as the client has that product assigned to them, which this is going to get a little bit more technical, but as long as they have that product assigned to them under the client, you just plug in that unique ID, and then all of those same functions of the upgrade pass and everything else will be available to them, because that API tie is based on the unique ID and the connection to that API. So as long as those things are in place, you can set up pre-existing VPSs that may be on your Liquid Web account to a client.
Got it. And just before we move on, let me just ask for a little more information. You mentioned a knowledge base, and there's a big knowledge base available, and it's growing weekly for partners. Tell us a little bit about that and where people can access that.
Yeah, so the knowledge base is directly on the liquidweb.com website. We have a couple of things. We have a knowledge base. We also have a help center, and then we have our hub. So there's a few different places where you can find resources on different aspects. The hub is where you're going to find our previous webinars, so you can view some of those there. The help center is for more of existing clients doing things like cPanel modifications and server management. The knowledge base is where I've actually written 3 articles myself. I've co-authored a couple articles with some colleagues specifically around WHMCS. So that's where you're going to find the knowledge base articles on setting up your initial Liquid Web server for the cPanel reselling, how to set up WHM packages to associate with WHMCS. So if you go to our website and click on the knowledge base link there, that will actually take you to a searchable knowledge base. And if you just type in WHMCS, that's going to give you all the articles that are relevant that I've written and co-authored.
Perfect. So let's talk a little bit more about where are we here? The upgrade and downgrade paths. And
so the client portal.
Yes.
So yeah, the client portal allows for that easy upgrade downgrade. They select it, they manage it, and they can do that. And that's the same for the VPS as well. So it's all done through WHMCS on a payment level, through a client relationship management level. So you've got the product associated. And I'll show you another slide here. When you're on the cPanel description here, it'll show you the disk usage, the bandwidth usage, what email accounts, forwards, different options for quick shortcuts in access to cPanel. And then the VPS will show you what package of the VPS you have, what the server host name is, the status of that server. So if you upgrade this from, say, the bronze VPS to the silver VPS, it will actually show you, the status is going through the resize while it's, and when it's back up and running, it's still active. The IP will remain the same. The host name will remain the same. But you'll see up here, the bronze will go from bronze to silver. The recurring amount will increase, and it'll reflect that appropriate information.
Sure, and this is what the client sees, right? Both the shared cPanel in the previous slide, as well as this VPS management. This is what the client sees from within the WHMCS client portal. Is that right?
Exactly. So in this right here, I'm actually logged in as the test client that I have on my installation. And on this client, I have 2 packages associated with them. I have the Webmaster package and the Bronze VPS. So you can see when you log into your client portal and you click on products and services, it's going to take you to this place where you can see, okay, these are all my active products, and this is what I can do with them. Then when you actually click on them, this is what it'll open up. So if you click on the Webmaster package that I have, it's shared hosting cPanel, gives you the domain that it's associated with. You can visit the website through a one-click. You can single sign on to cPanel. And just to note, this can be allowed or disallowed if you want it. I know some of our partners do not want their end users logging into cPanel. You can limit that. You can remove that. Logging into webmail, that gives them access to obviously their email. They can change their password. That is changing the cPanel password. So make sure they are aware of what that does. Again, that could be limited. And then you have the upgrade downgrade button, which will take you to this. And then when you click on that, you'll see what packages are available to do that automated upgrade and downgrade.
Well, that is very cool. It really puts a lot of power, as much power as you want to give your clients for self-service you can give them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really helpful, especially if you're trying to limit the amount of customer support you might have to do with a client. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's one of those where you may have clients that use this regularly and you don't have to have a lot of involvement. And you may have clients who don't even want to log into this portal. And you can manage them both. I mean, you can allow for as much or as little access as you'd like. You can still do all of the management on the back end, and WHMCS keeps up right along with you regardless of which path you're taking.
Sure. And here's a good question that popped in from an audience member. We talked about limiting some of the things like cPanel login and change password and so forth. Is that like one setting for all clients, or can it be limited per client? Like maybe some clients you want to give cPanel access, but others you don't.
It's limited on the product level. The easy way is limited on the product level. Now, there may be ways to limit individual users, but it would be something we'd have to explore outside of this. The way that's limited in the way I would normally do it is based on the product. If you want to have a shared hosting plan that has access, you would set up a product that does so. And then if you wanted one without, you would set up a product that doesn't. Now, for different users, if you were specifically sending out, like, here's the cart link, sign up through this cart link, you could send them an almost identical product that just doesn't have the SSO capability. So that is on the product level, but you may be able to drill it down to user. You would just have to get creative with it.
Sure, makes sense. How would a person learn more about setting up WHMCS for themselves and their clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So WHMCS, as we've talked about, is it's a free product for Liquid Web partners. It is an amazing tool, and the way that you use it is going to be unique. A lot of different companies have different focuses, have different client bases, and we at Liquid Web, we absolutely understand that because we deal with the same thing every day. So we know that we have different clients who have different needs, and these webinars are a great place as a jumping off point to kind of learn about the software and what it's capable of. But if you have questions that are specific to your client base, that are specific to your WHMCS setup, reach out to your partner development manager. If you're not sure who your partner development manager is, shoot over an email to partner-team@liquidweb.com. That team is very responsive. They're a great group of people here at Liquid Web, and they will reach out to you. If you have a partner development manager who is a part of that team, they will reach out to you directly. If you don't, that someone will absolutely get with you and contact whoever your account manager is and get you talking. So you have that ability to kind of reach out that way. And then from there, if we determine, okay, this is something that requires a one-on-one, they will work with me, and we'll all work together as a team to determine what timing works out best for everybody. And we'll schedule a one-on-one webinar or an onboarding call where we'll do a share screen, and I will look directly at your installation and kind of where things are at, and assist you with kind of what the next steps are. So definitely contact your partner development manager, and we can help facilitate it from there.
Absolutely. And if there are any other questions, please drop those in the questions area of the GoToWebinar control panel. One more thing I'll mention, if you happen to be watching this webinar, whether live or on the replay, and you are not yet a Liquid Web partner, you can join the partner community by following that link that's on the screen now, liquidweb.com/partner-community, and there's a sign-up process involved in that, but it is a free program. It doesn't cost anything to join, and there's lots of benefits that are explained on that page about why it is helpful to become a Liquid Web partner. I don't believe we have any other questions today. Chris, this has been great information. Any last thoughts for the audience as we're wrapping up today?
No, I would just say, feel free to reach out. Our partner team is very, very involved with the partners that they work with. If you have questions, if you've been a longtime partner, but you're new to this, or if you're not a partner yet and you would like to join, absolutely reach out to the partner team alias. They are always happy to help. They're always available. Feel free to contact us. That's what we're here for. We really want to be your partner in what you're doing and provide you with whatever assistance we can.
Fantastic. So thanks again, Chris, and thank all of you for joining us today on this webinar from Liquid Web, where you will find the most helpful humans in hosting.